Most founders don't lose their companies to competitors. They lose them to their own team, slowly, meeting by meeting, until they don't recognize who's really in charge anymore. A $10 million founder was getting manipulated by his own team. I'll call him Thomas for this story. On paper, he was winning, fresh funding, a big team, a product with traction. But inside, he was being manipulated, gaslit, and drained of all authority. I helped him take his power back. Here are the 5 lessons that saved his company and could save your company too. Lesson 1. A players aren't always A players. You know the saying, A players hire A players. So that's what Thomas thought he had to do. He started hiring the best people. Big resumes, strong networks, impressive titles. They came with demands, bigger budgets, more autonomy, fancy offices. Thomas said yes to everything. 6 months later, his metrics had flatlined. Projects were stuck in committee hell. And when Thomas tried to hold people accountable, you're micromanaging. Hey, you hired me to do this for you. I already sold bigger projects than this. We need more resources. Maybe you're just not ready to scale. Here's the mistake Thomas made. He relied on resumes and didn't consider alignment. He looked at their backgrounds and thought, this person kicked ass at their last company. They must be better than me. But here's what he missed. Did they kick ass in his industry? His market? His stage of company? Did they build those results, or were they just part of a machine that already was working? Most importantly, did they believe in his vision, or did they just want a paycheck? You assume past success predicts future success, but success is context dependent. What worked at Google doesn't work at a 50-person startup, but people with bigger backgrounds often think they should be running things. They're not joining to follow your vision. They're joining to implement theirs. A talented person who doesn't align with your culture will poison the team. They'll create factions. They'll undermine decisions. They'll make everyone else doubt the mission. So how do you avoid Thomas's mistake? You start with yourself and not their resume. Before you even look at their LinkedIn, get clear on 3 things. What specific problem am I trying to solve? What kind of person would be excited to solve my problem my way? And what values do they need to share with me to make this work? Then, test for alignment in the interview. Forget the "where do you see yourself in 5 years" nonsense. Ask questions that reveal how they actually think. Tell me about a time you disagreed with your boss's vision. How did you handle it? What excites you the most about this specific opportunity? Not just the opportunity or role. And how do you prefer to work with founders? The wrong answers are obvious. If they badmouth previous bosses, they'll badmouth you. If they can't explain why they want this role, they just want a role. And if they want to bring their experience to help you scale, that means they want to run things their way. Resumes don't predict alignment. You don't need different people. You need complementary people. People who amplify your strengths instead of competing with them. Hire for alignment first, skills second. Skills can be taught. Alignment can't. Lesson number 2. Recognize the warning signs of authority erosion. I don't usually work with founders anymore. I've moved on to coaching executives and professionals. But Thomas was persistent. His team had convinced him that his instincts, the same instincts that built the company from zero, were wrong. They'd made him doubt the vision that attracted the $10 million in funding. Thomas put it perfectly. I had brought on people who I thought were capable, so I listened to them and questioned my ability. He'd walk into a meeting with a clear decision, then walk out confused. He'd start projects he believed in, then kill them after team input. He'd make hiring decisions, then second-guess them when people complained. His authority was being eroded systematically, one meeting at a time. So, what should you watch out for? Sign 1. You're asking permission for decisions you used to make alone. Thomas started running every decision by his leadership team, not for input, for approval. The founder was asking employees if he could make strategic calls. Sign 2. You're defending your vision instead of executing it. Thomas spent more time in alignment meetings than building product. He was constantly explaining why his ideas made sense instead of just implementing them. When you're defending your vision to your own team, you've already lost. Sign 3. You're spending more time in meetings than creating. Thomas's calendar went from 20% meetings to 80% meetings. It was his team creating bureaucracy to slow him down. Here's what I tell my clients. Do a monthly authority audit. Ask yourself, what decisions am I making slower now than 6 months ago? What projects have I killed because of team concerns? How much time am I spending explaining versus executing? If you're exhausted after team meetings, that's a red flag. Good teams energize you. Bad teams drain you. Your gut knows the difference before your brain does. Track your decision-making speed. Healthy teams accelerate your decisions. Toxic teams slow them down with process and alignment. Lesson 3. Healthy teams propose solutions. Toxic teams point out problems. Thomas made a classic mistake. He thought all feedback was good feedback. When every piece of feedback makes you the problem, that's not feedback. That's gaslighting. And this happens way more than you think, especially in tech and gaming. Maybe it's your manager saying, you're not technical enough, while never giving you technical work. Maybe it's a senior dev telling you, you don't understand the architecture, but never explaining it. Maybe it's a team lead saying, you're not a culture fit, when you question their decisions. Good team members say things like, I see a problem with X. Here are 3 ways we could fix it. This approach isn't working. What if we tried Y instead? I disagree with this decision because of Z. Can we explore other options? Manipulators. They sound completely different. This won't work. And that's it. No solution. You don't understand the market. Now you're the problem. I've seen this before. They use their past to shut down your ideas. After every feedback session, ask yourself, did they come with problems or solutions? And here's my favorite test. Ask them, so what do you think we should do? Good team members, they've already thought this through. Manipulators will just bounce it back. Well, you're the boss. Spotting manipulation was just step 1 for Thomas. Step 2 was way harder. Finding someone he could actually trust. Lesson number 4. You need someone with no financial stake. That's when I gave Thomas the metaphor that changed everything. Imagine you're a lion, but you're surrounded by jackals. Jackals don't hunt. They scavenge. They feed off of the lion's kills and convince the lion he's weak. Thomas thought his jackals were lions like him. He thought they were peers. But they were just feeding off of his effort while undermining his authority. He'd learned to spot the manipulation. But now what? He couldn't trust his team. They were the ones gaslighting him. He couldn't trust his investors. They'd panic if he knew he was struggling with his own people. His friends and family? They meant well, but they had no idea what running a company was actually like. So Thomas was making million-dollar decisions in complete isolation. Think about how insane that is. You wouldn't buy a house without asking someone's opinion. But Thomas was restructuring his entire company with nobody to bounce ideas off. This isolation wasn't just lonely. It was dangerous. Without a trusted outside perspective, you spiral into analysis paralysis. Thomas needed what every leader needs. Someone who could see the situation clearly because they weren't in it. And how do you find someone like this? Look for 3 things. First, they can't make money from your decisions. Not an investor, not an employee, not someone trying to sell you coaching services. If their paycheck depends on what you choose, they're compromised. Second, they've actually been in your shoes. Someone who understands the specific mess you're dealing with. Generic business advice is useless when your own team is gaslighting you. Third, they have permission to hurt your feelings. If they're tiptoeing around your ego, they can't help you. You don't need someone to make you feel better. You need someone to help you see clearly. Start with founders who've already sold their companies. They're not competing with you anymore. Look for coaches who actually understand leadership problems, not just generic business stuff. And don't overlook competitors either, who've been through this before. They get it better than anyone else. Lesson number 5. Always ask, confidence or fear? Thomas had lost something more valuable than money. He'd lost faith in his own judgment. This is what manipulation does. It doesn't change your decisions. It breaks your decision-making ability. Being a founder means making decisions with incomplete information. You don't get to wait for perfect data. You don't get to test everything first. You have to look at the situation, trust your gut, and move forward. Thomas's original instincts built everything that mattered. So why did he think those same instincts were suddenly wrong? Because manipulators are experts at making you doubt the very strengths that made you successful. Here's what I tell people like Thomas. Start with small decisions and track your success rate. For 1 week, make decisions quickly on small things. Where to eat lunch? What emails to prioritize? Which meetings to take? Notice how often your first instinct is right. Separate your voice from the noise. Before every decision, ask, what would I do if I had to decide alone? Write it down. Then, gather input if you need it. Practice the confidence versus fear question daily. Every time you're about to make a decision, pause and ask, am I doing this because I believe this is right? Or because I'm afraid of something? Fear-based decisions feel heavy and complicated. Confidence-based decisions feel clear and energizing. So Thomas did something he should have done months earlier. He fired the jackals. Not restructured, not let some people go. Fired them. The CMO who questioned every decision but never had solutions? Gone. The VP of sales who spent more time in meetings and selling? Gone. The head of product who made everyone else feel stupid? Gone. Thomas walked into the office one Monday and cleaned house. Today, Thomas runs a lean, focused team. Clear mind, real power, raising again, but on his terms this time. Trust the founder who got you this far. If you're a founder or senior leader feeling quietly stuck, you don't need more LinkedIn advice. You need space to think clearly and act boldly. Subscribe for more stories like Thomas's. And if you're ready to take your clarity back, you know where to find me.